Among the beliefs of the Ojibwa Indians of North America is the power of the dreamcatcher. To the Ojibwa, dreams and visions play a prominent role in determining people's life paths. Dreams and visions are considered to be as real as waking life. The Ojibwa suspend the dreamcatcher over the bed of a sleeping child to ward off bad dreams. Only the good dreams are allowed to pass through the center of the net. Circles of support are a lot like dreamcatchers. The power in a circle comes from the forming of a network of friends and family who spend time with a young person with a disability. The circle helps a person to catch dreams through encouraging them to imagine the greatest possibilities. People in a circle of support provide resources and creative ideas which, like dreamcatchers, work to avoid nightmares. Circles work toward the young person's vision to ensure that he or she is part of community life.
Circles of support was conceptualized as not necessarily a total alternative to the service delivery system, but a way for typical people to be involved in decision making. So families make the decisions, people with disabilities make the decisions, and essentially the service system is then put in a position to support those decisions, not to make those decisions. And that's the real value of circles of support.
They are going to the junior prom, and they were wondering if Matt was going. And Matt was like, no, I'm not going. But I think they kind of were talking him into it.
Should we talk about Matt? Like what?
Matt's first circle meeting was in the spring of 1991. His circle gets together about every 6 weeks. Matt prefers informal circle meetings like this one, where he eats ice cream in his living room and talks with friends.
When we first began with the circle about a year ago, we were thinking more in terms of short-term goals, particularly around social opportunities and recreation and new friends. Those were issues that were really important for Matt, and he was able to communicate to us that those were the important things for him. How could he have more things that were fun to do outside of school time?
And he chose which people he would want to invite and which ones he might not want to invite. And I think that his selection process had something to do with his knowledge that some people loved fun more than others. And we ended up with a fun-loving group, people who were prepared to laugh a lot and enjoy each other's company.
Matt has a kind of personality he's very intense, but also is very funny. You know, he has these moments where he wants to talk about meaningful things, and other times where he just wants to joke. He has a typical teenager kind of sense of humor, kind of rotten and, you know, sarcastic and stuff, which I kind of like. So it's really, I think, you know, just a personality thing. We just really like each other.
Who's going to have to write? Nancy?
It wants Nancy to write.
Nancy to write.
All right.
I forgot my glasses again.
One of the things I think I've learned from Matt's circle is that people have a lot of different ideas than I would have thought of maybe as parents. Everybody has different people they know. I think all these little offshoots you wouldn't have gotten if it was just, you know, one or two people thinking.
For example, one of the ideas that we've come up with for the summer came from one of the people in the circle who has a camp up in New Hampshire on a lake, and she suggested that we have a circle meeting up there and get everybody together and have a good time. And we know that this will be fun for Matt because it will follow up on 2 summers he's had up at this camp and doing things in the water that we never would have thought possible, riding around, being towed by a boat in water flotation devices, and absolutely having a wonderful time.
No, I think that the pressure to make things come out right for Matt in his future, although Pam and I don't wring our hands about it and talk about it a whole lot, nevertheless it's in the air, and our other son Ben picked up on that.
It's more comfortable with Matt having something to look forward to, which is the circle meeting, that he can look forward to something, and it really relaxes him and makes him happy. It's not just the circle meetings, it's not what goes on directly in the circle meetings, it's what they make happen in the whole family, that just it's a relaxing sort of thing.
Matt is beginning to fulfill dreams that many people did not think possible. Over time, his circle has focused not only on goals for the here and now, like having fun and making friends, but also on goals for his life after high school.
Through these meetings, I've learned a lot that Matt's really thinking about his future, about where is he going to live and what is he going to do for work, which wasn't something that I knew he thought about that much.
Well, I think one of the things that happened when we started talking and thinking about jobs was that Matt got to educate everybody there, including us, about just what his preferences were. And since he had had some fairly positive experiences at school, delivering the mail and meeting people and finding his way around, people were thinking along those lines. And Lori, Matt's teacher, knew someone who worked at the mall named Leslie, and made a connection for Matt to meet people out at the mall. That developed into a job where he delivers mail at the mall.
Okay, Matt, we'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, don't forget to check with the sunglass hut and what was the other? And bend and stretch.
Okay.
Okay? And let me know or let Dorothy know if you'll be picking up their mail next week, okay?
I think that's partly because of the connections in the circle made that job possible, but it's also that by coming together on a regular basis and brainstorming with Matt as the focus of attention, he got to show everybody just what it was that he's able to do and what he wants to do.
Thank you.
And then the circle began to think about Matt's future, what Matt might be interested in doing after high school. And we talk about it in kind of those dream terms about, wouldn't it be great if, or Matt would love to do such and thus. And they might have seemed kind of impractical things or just really pretty impossible. But people in the circle never responded that way. They would respond the same way, yeah, that would be great. Wouldn't it be great if that could happen for Matt? So it became a place that it was okay to kind of think out loud about what would be the greatest possibilities, if anything were possible.
Angie and the people in her circle use personal connections to create opportunities, like taking a class at the University of New Hampshire.
When we went to the Angie's IEP the last 2 years, particularly since we'd started these circles of support, and her teacher and all the administrators at the school knew that we had a circle of support for Angie, it appeared to me, or I had the sense or the feeling, that the school listened to us more than they did before. They knew that we had a plan in mind for Angela, that we knew what we wanted.
Support from others is essential in anybody's life, and yours and my life included. And as anybody reaches for dreams and tries something new, I think support beyond your family is typical. And that's what a circle often provides for individuals, is just the typical support that all of us have had in our lives.
Well, I've noticed, too, that it's time for Angie to get involved with other people, and she's really enjoyed the people in her circle. She's more outgoing, seems to be more independent, wasn't afraid to go to classes at UNH by herself. That's what she wanted to do, and just other people showing a big interest in her has made a big difference in her.
The success of Angie's circle is due to the creativity of her friends and family, as well as their ongoing informal partnership with the high school.
Being in constant communication with family and individuals, as well as agency providers, on a continual, ongoing basis is really necessary, because planning is a process. You can't just, it's not an event that happens in one day.
Well, Margaret Brown told us about this opportunity at UNH for Angie to take a course there, and this one specifically was light horse technology. She knew Angela was interested in horses and animals, so we thought this would be a good idea. We talked about it at the circle. She took us over to the school to talk with Lori, who would be teaching the course, and also we met Beth, who was a student also at UNH, who was there going to be with Angie to help her.
Okay, and how about you get this rump here?
She helped me work with horses. Beth is nice to be with.
I think never before had I been bold enough to think of a student
like Angie taking a post-secondary course. The student or the family might have thought that that was a good idea, and maybe I did too, but I didn't trust it enough to step into it. But with the support that you get from a circle, it's possible, and the steps you take feel like secure steps, that you're really going in a direction that is meaningful.
I did it. Yep, you sure did. You're so emotional. No, I don't.
Lisa's vision for her future became more clear over time. Her voice is being heard through facilitated communication, where the physical touch of a facilitator supports her to type out her thoughts. She has spelled out clearly what her goals are for her future, and people are listening.
Well, with Lisa being involved with a circle, her life and our lives have changed dramatically. First of all, Lisa was introduced to facilitated communication largely through the sponsorship of the circle, because it was during one of her circle meetings that Mary Shue came and introduced it to her. But a lot of other things happened as well. For example, Lisa began to talk about wanting to attend UNH.
Can I ask you something? Because there's a lot of different things that happen at UNH. It doesn't mean you have to be in class all the time. Do you want to do some fun things at UNH? Get into different types of group activities and go to class? Take like a class, take like one class, you know, do a lot of socializing, or take 5 classes and do no socializing? I mean, what do you really want to do here? Or experiment? What do you think?
She's also taught classes at UNH with Mary Shue several times. She loves doing that. She loves teaching.
I am Lisa Zashik. I want you to know how important facilitated communication is to me. I am more independent in my life. I am able to tell people what is important to me.
I think that the concept of circles is difficult to fit into the traditional service system, partly because, I guess in my view, the circle concept really is sort of woven into the fabric of a person's life and really isn't a piece that can be put someplace, but rather covers a whole bunch of pieces.
I like best about the circle is that I get together with my friends and talk. We have fun. I think it helps me think about my future. The circle helped me do different things in my life, which are like classes, teaching, finding new things in my life that make me happy.
It's helped to clarify Lisa's vision of her life and clarify what needs to be done to help her to get there. And I think probably helps identify who her friends are and who the people are that care about what she's about.
And it may change as Lisa grows and changes. She's going to school, meet people at school, and work with other people at school, and it'll expand her circle.
An additional dimension to having the circle was that there were more people working on the problems that we used to work on alone, facing issues with us instead of us facing them by ourselves.
The circle thought I'm important. I think it's important that people in my life believe in my dreams. My dreams are to teach facilitated communication to people and more independence with having freedom in my life to be me.
Eventually we decided that what we were really about is trying to make sure that all of the things that Lisa wanted to accomplish in her life were things that we were working on. And it didn't much matter where those pieces were. What we wanted to do is throw out a great big net and catch all of those pieces and hook them together so that Lisa would have a more complete life.
The path to reaching dreams is never straight or simple, but Matt, Angie, and Lisa have the support of a growing circle of committed people walking with them to get around obstacles and celebrate small successes along the way. Catching dreams doesn't mean saying it can't happen. It means finding the answers to the question, what will it take to reach my vision?
me by.